Welcome back to Mega Man Battle Network 2. We're in the middle of a scenario. The internet is frozen, and we've got to do something about it. What is that something? We don't really know. Look, they're just ice crystals, we've saved roll. We're a little directionless at the moment. Yeah, that's probably it. That or the bear that's still stationed on the path. Still terrifying. Alright, well, you might also be wondering, hey, what are we even doing at Okuden? Well, we have no idea. At this point, you're pretty much just flailing around looking for something to do.
The best part of any RPG, where you just have to go everywhere you've been and talk to everyone.
So, we got a heat program, or we rescued a guy, and then this guy will give us heat data. I mentioned last time that it's very important that we talk to the one dude that we did last time. So yeah, if you did not realize you had to talk to that random program, yeah, you need to do that so you can come over here and get the heat data. I forget exactly how the other program worded it, but there's a vague hint that he has something to do with like a heating system or something. And that's just the grill. So you'll also want to spend more time on the internet than off of it, because this is the song that keeps playing.
The internet's in trouble. And because it's the early 2000s, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, we've not yet learned that Cyber Peacock was actually in the right. Okay, well, Roll made it back home safe, that's good. Anyway, I don't think we've actually entered this piano before because it was off the first time, but it's not off anymore, so let's enter it. This doesn't have anything to do with anything. Don't worry, this isn't also part of the main quest. It is just an optional thing. But in fairness, considering we had to start this episode by going to a grill, I can't say I'd be surprised if anybody thought, oh yeah, obviously, you're going to the piano, because it's stupidly part of it. No, it's not. It's not quite that bad. I don't think that's how electric pianos work, but you know what? Keep dreaming, Mr. Prague. You're just playing your electronic piano one day and it just evolves like a Pokemon into a just normal piano. No clue why it looks like this now. No clue how to actually play this because it's way different from an electric piano. Gotta learn how all the chords work? What is this? Alright, back to the square. Let's get some information. Who knows things around here? Rumor, that reminds me.
Who is Doc?
Wait, we're not supposed to be talking about the undernet. They have a boardroom, but like an evil boardroom. Wait, that actually sounds pretty good. Why is he in the evil internets?
This is the most early internet-ass thing.
This sounds spooky. I'd like to see him. Yeah, Vishnu, you're so tough. Oh, we got mail because we read the relevant information. So yeah, we talked to her in person, but she didn't give us anything in person. But she will mail us, just in case, you don't actually go back to talk to her. That's how you get roll V3. Alright, well, apparently we've got to go all the way to the undersquare, but that means we've got to go to the undernet. Ooh, can't believe we have to go to the dark web again.
Connecting to the dark web itself isn't illegal. It's all the illegal shit on the dark web that's illegal.
Mm-hmm. But there's really powerful viruses on it. It's really scary in there. Alright, anyway though, there's another P crystal, can't do anything about that, but what we can do something about is this cube, which is actually a pretty handy shortcut. So remove that.
I did not see that board that you walked on that blended into the background for me.
Alright, so we also can't do anything about blue ice, but we can do something about the red ice over here. I mean, it's not the way to the undernet, but we will be fighting 3 shrimpies. Okay. This hand actually really sucks. I've got 2 counters waiting for me. But mostly I'm just gonna overkill this man. On the bright side, there are no big boulders behind us, so it's not like they can hit us with any bubbles. That would make for a really difficult format to deal with. Bubcross. Alright, so yeah, we've cured that. Where else do we need to go? Yellow crystal down there, that's not anything we can do. Okay. Hi, you. Uh-oh. Another trapped person. Yeah, about leaving him. Well, the thing is, I do actually know we can't be helpful. I'm just gonna say ahead of time, no, we can't be helpful. Look, I'd go there and check it out myself, but look at the runtime. This is already gonna be such a long video. I don't need to do anything extra. Again, there is a minor thing in this whole scenario that you can do that eventually will be a shortcut that I won't be taking. But other than that, we're just gonna be efficient. Alright, so yeah, we're here at Netopia. Cross over to here. And this definitely won't be a path we'll get tired of seeing. Also, it's good that that yellow crystal doesn't block anything important. It's one of those situations of, it's really good that this is a video game, and that they would not just put a thing you can't destroy in front of a critical path. It is, of course, good to note where these crystals are, because eventually we'll be getting, codes for, programs to destroy them. Well, whatever it is that allows them to be smashed. So, yeah, just make a little mental note anytime you see a particular color. You'll want to go back there eventually, probably. Okay, so what's our virus blocking us from the internet? No, it's just sorties, that's... Actually, this is a great position. Nobody move. So one fun thing that I've realized keeps happening is, for a few episodes, we've been seeing the, Wood Plus cards in my deck. Only now am I getting the tornado those would have benefit, so that's fun. Anyway, Welcome to the Xbox zone.
Oh god.
So yeah, in the previous game, as I've mentioned, the Undernet didn't look any different from the regular internet, but this time around, it's got a different appearance. We're also starting with a pretty simple enemy formation. That guy had nothing to hide behind, making him easier. And nulls are easy to kill with electric. Get a bug frag hidden over here, can't take out the yellow crystal, so... Right. Undernet, as you also might imagine... Fires in disguise... has a bit of a tricky layout. It's not the worst to have to work with... but... it is definitely a little trickier to navigate than previous areas. Being so late game and all. Also, yeah, it happened again. I got wood plus 40, and nothing to use it with. Of course, it's also not like I could have used Twister in those previous fights, because the ice floor kind of prevented that from being easily usable. It hits 2 spaces away, which wasn't really doable. Oh hey, attack plus 20 asterisk. Yeah, those are pretty... well, they're not terribly expensive. They can definitely add up if you buy a bunch of them. There's also only so many you can buy. I want to say... it's either 3 or 5's the limit. But they don't give you unlimited, unfortunately.
I like this floor pattern.
It is very cool, and like most areas, okay. Is this environmental storytelling? Are we gonna see NetNavi skeletons? We're seeing logs. But yeah, like I was saying, like most areas, there's a pretty good differentiation between what layer you're on. So yeah, it's a good look, and it's also very distinctive from one another.
There's the Xbox color.
Had to be somewhere.
Now I'm just picturing, like, how fucked up would it be if the Xbox was just orange instead of green?
I think the world would be a much different place. How? I don't know. But it would be. Also, yeah, I would figure that the Undernet would just be filled with people who are probably obsessed with, or will one day be obsessed with Gamerscore.
I do like the designs on the nulls. Or I don't like that they recover HP.
Yeah, this is another situation of, man, it's a good thing I'm Electric Element, because it makes them really easy to deal with. Otherwise, they're relatively low HP for this point in the game, but yeah, they have a constant recover on. But yeah, their attacks just sort of happen, and their design is weird alien blobs, so I do like that they are this weird anomaly even amongst other viruses. And speaking of anomaly, man, that background's really messed up. Somewhere out there, Gigas is dying.
Yeah, if your Xbox does this, it's not good.
Oh, okay, who is it around here? Okay, I mean, I would like that money. There's a reason I didn't buy from the net dealer, so let's just Give 10,000 zenny. Alright, so which guy around here is it anyway? Then do I have to go to the board for it, or... Oh, of course he is. I mean, you can muse on that all you want. Let's explore the rest of Undersquare before we leave, because... God, they're making us go back to Netopia.
Why do I have a feeling that that guy is just logging off of one account and logging on to a different account? Hell yeah, brother!
Yeah, I watch a lot of Dragon Ball.
Whoa!
I'm powering up, here I go. Go back to the regular net. Look like one of those goody two-shoes. Unlike us, we're really cool and mean.
He really lucked out that he said, go back to the regular net unless you want to die to the only person on Earth who could actually die on the internet.
Alright, those guys just sub-chip dealer. And we don't even have an unlocker. Cool, great. Oh, that's maxed out, so, attack up, I guess. That'll be useful maybe one day.
You will never use rapid.
Alright, so we've got the dark board. Here it is. A post from Shredder. And Killer.
Again, these names just feel like RTVS doing a bit.
Mm-hmm. And Deleter.
It is sequel to the Sonic forum. They're pretending to run like a dark web forum.
Iron Bear.
Oh, that
feels
dude!
way different after the first three. I can't believe this is a board with both the villain of Ninja Turtles and also the traitor from Metroid. I gotta recover 80. Assassin's just like, hey Claude, you're a pansy. You need recovery. Ooh, look at me. I'm Claude and I need recovery. Real men Navis just keep their injuries.
Just like how real men don't restart maps when they lose a character in Fire Emblem.
That's why they're called Iron Man runs. Girls wouldn't understand it. Also, I do like that Proto Man is just cop number 1 on this board. Everybody's just like, oh my god, Proto Man! The Proto Man! Even though Mega Man's here, it's like, he stopped a missile.
We're gonna run into a guy on one of these boards named, like, Peaceful Bunny or something, and he's gonna be the scariest motherfucker on the board.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I just skipped back over here because it's just walking back to Netopia. We've already seen that this episode, and there's no new ice on the internet that we can break, so... Yeah, we just had to backtrack here. You can either go the long way through the virus-infested undernet, which in fairness does get you a decent amount of money and chips, but also you could just log off and come back in the way we've already seen. Which I did. Believe me, we'll be seeing plenty of undernet today. Alright, well, that would be a lot more helpful if we could change your attack normally. Anyway, though, right, so... where are we heading to next? Not in the net square, we need to go down there. So yeah, you might have assumed that the purple Navi was just hanging out in Net Square, but no, he's not. It's this guy. In fairness, while there are shops in Net Square, was mentioned that this guy do be shopping. So if he wasn't there, then this is like the one other place he could be. Give me your Zapring 2B in payment. I know you have it. Alright, okay, what's the password? Is it a swear? Okay, it's World 3. Were you surprised? Yeah, I know.
I know, we killed them.
World 3? Like that organization we stopped. I hate those guys. Alright, so anyway, I stopped on the way back so that we could do this. I want these. Again, they get a little pricey, and it is 3, so... Yeah, those are very helpful, though. And also, let's just buy some of these. Full Cust Asterisk is actually pretty useful, though. You probably do want one of those for your folder, and in fact, it's actually not a bad idea to set that as your default chip, in case you get a dud hand. That way you can just reset it on the spot. Or if you get a good hand, but then you immediately want to have access to your thing again afterwards, it's also useful for that. I still prefer the Gate Man chip, but full cust isn't a bad idea. If you post this word, it's not really a word so much as it is 3 letters. If you didn't know to pronounce it World 3, you'd probably just pronounce it Woo. Or WWW, I guess.
Oh!
Can that happen to a net Navi? Okay? I need to cure ice, Doctor. Ah, man, that's so many things. But I mean, we really need to break that ice, so... He took all of Mega Man's power-ups and battle chips. No, you don't actually lose your stuff. You just need to prove that you're made of stern stuff. I also like how the HP meter doesn't even lower. It's just like, nah, we don't actually want to set your level to 1. That'd take work. Okay, we need a Yell Frag and a Heat Data. Well, it's a good thing we ran into that one Mr. Prog, who set us up with a different Mr. Prog who gave us the Heat program. Again, you do sort of get a hint, but also you might not remember the grills immediately. I think especially if you're a child, you might just go, wait, what's a heating thing I know in this game? Or if you've taken a break from this game. It could be any number of things. Of course they're in Netopia. Of course they're in Netopia. Okay, so this time we at least have the yellow data so we can break yellow ice, so... We'll go through another tour of the internet now that we can break a few things. So yeah, by now you can probably see why this is my least favorite part of the game. I've skipped some of it, but there is just so much back and forth.
I am rapidly finishing up Phantasy Star 3, and man, I'm getting flashbacks.
Alright, I did it. I've cured the ice. Alright, what are we fighting? Aye. Hey, handy. There we go.
Damn.
That's the power of electric on ice blocks. Alright, we got another bug frag, which the Darkweb boards did mention. Those do eventually just morph into bugs, so it is kind of weird that there's a bug trader in the world in Kodo Square. But we don't really have time to be suspicious of that, so back to breaking ice. Also, even if that is a problem, guess who hasn't done any trading? That's right, me. I just have these bug frags in my pocket. Also, I probably should have used a sword here instead. That would've been the smart thing, but in fairness, it's not like this takes that much longer. Alright, and now we get to see, if we do get to free that one guy the other one was talking about. We didn't even check on him. But again, I already knew I didn't have the cure, so I waited. Cause otherwise, that's just a few more steps that could get me another fight that I don't have to do. Oh, this is hell. Well, thankfully that did work, I guess. So, get him, Proto Man. And there's his wide sword in action. Alright. Okay. I mean, we're going back and forth anyway. Where is he? Why? Why did he go to the dark web? A few episodes ago, it was illegal on a forum to talk about it, which, as we all know, is like the highest form of danger. So why is everybody on the internet now?
It's just one mod on the board that doesn't like the internet.
Yeah, he vastly overestimates how badly they'll get in trouble if they discuss the dark web. Okay, here's B-Tanks. And he only ever fired blanks. Okay. Alright, well, I will file that away for later. I'm busy now, I gotta get to the undernet by the normal means.
Do you think Chod just has a Tor browser?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, he's definitely doing this the proper way. Like, he hears about the bullshit that Lan does to get on the internet, just because, why would you do it that way? Just get a Tor browser. It's not like it's illegal to own or anything.
Land, there are easier ways to... You know what? You just keep doing your thing. Also, as you might imagine, this is, kind of a difficult enemy encounter. You do kind of rapidly lose your footing. Oh, and they're synchronized now, great. I'm so glad you fire at once. I don't see how you like having your panels broken. Oh wait, it doesn't matter for him. Also, I don't like how half the time their shots just kinda look invisible. I actually don't know if that is a thing that's on purpose, or if maybe that's a weird glitch on this Game Boy Advance that I'm definitely using. I also don't recall that enemy being in a later Battle Network game, so... Well, he might be in 3, but I'm actually not as familiar with the, mobs of 3. I know 4, 5, and 6 decently well. Front one is just like the dumb one in a comedy duo, I'm thinking. That is absolutely a bumbling assistant if I've ever seen one. Alright, get him. Darn it. There we go! That's called strategy. Anyway, I didn't actually need to do that, I don't get any items. That ice is so dangerous. We've gotta do something about it, you're telling me. Alright, I wanna say... there's no more ice yet, or at least in this area. Okay, yeah, that's correct. Okay, so... Undernet, take 2. We've gotta find some guy's brother this time. But at the very least, we can explore more of this place. Because now we can break this. Oh, great. Oh, actually, no, genuinely great. Alright, Proto Man, kill. Hands you a rat.
What's the highest number of enemies that you can fight at once?
I wanna say it is 3. I'm trying to think if there's any situation of a 4th enemy on the field.
3 would make sense, but... I just want to know what's the, like, highest amount of Proto Man carnage you can get.
Mm-hmm. Yep, darn. It still counts. And there we go. Oh, and there wasn't even anything over here. Okay, sure, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. I can just break some ice for the love of the game. It's cool, I'm good with that.
Mega Man having a why'd I even walk into this room moment.
Well, I mean, look on the bright side, Mega Man. At least we're not in the midst of Final Fantasy II. The game infamous for having just rooms there to waste your time. It's just rooms full of guys ready to punch you. Oh, Elect Gut Style Level 3! We are now stronger. Which, in the middle of the ice-focused scenario, is honestly really good. Like, yeah, please, make me stronger when we're having a whole lot of fights that just have ice by default. Honestly, having some kind of ice stage would definitely affect you. But, honestly, it wouldn't be the worst idea in certain situations to just up your damage. But that's definitely one that has a very big backfire that unfortunately can't really be overridden in this game particularly well. As stated before, you can set the entire field on fire with particular chips, but Fire Style does allow you to just say, no, that's not damage. Maybe you think it's damage because you're dumb and bad at this, but actually that's not damage. Maybe you can't walk on lava because you're just not a good person. So yeah, anyway, we are doing 30 hull damage when we hit somebody with a buster, which is really good, all things considered, especially with the stun lock as well. That does also, of course, mean double damage for anything applicable. So, yeah, 60 damage does not suck. Also, do not go any farther than this, you will fight MegaMan V2, and you don't want to do that. Because not only does MegaMan suck to fight, and he's even worse in his second form, but even if you succeed, then that just means you might have to fight MegaMan V3 in this area, and you don't want to do that unless you have to. I don't even think his Mega Chip is particularly well loved. I think it's straight up just not worth unleashing MegaMan on yourself. Genuinely, at this point, I think you could actually go after Quickman, and you'd probably just be fine having V3 on the net. He can be a little tricky because he's a very gimmicky fight, but once you know what you're doing, he's not terrible, and you do have a decent damage output at this point. Okay, so we do have a new area here. And hey! Who went and left this thing on the net? Man, this is so annoying. So yeah, this is the little brother. We did it, we found him. Oh, we can go back to where he is and tell him that we found you. Great, cool. I love backtracking. Neither do I. Okay, so we have to go talk to that guy's brother. And also find even more items, but, what if we just kept exploring for now, actually? What if we got Twister N, and then we went over here to find this sign? Undernet 4 is that way. Calm down, come back! Don't do anything you'll regret. Okay, so, admittedly, while I do find this part of the game annoying, this is entirely optional. Which you can tell because now we have the aura viruses. Yeah, so, you might want to save before you go to Undernet 4. The sign does seem like a pretty accurate warning of, hey, dude, come on, don't do something you'll regret. So yeah, aura viruses, of course, will have barriers that you need to do the exact amount of damage or more in order to remove them. They're not too bad to dodge. They are very fast, though. So I'm not gonna say they're easy. But, for being some of the higher tier enemies, they're slightly better at defense than they are at offense, I would say. Got a bug frag. So yeah, the rest of this video is actually just going to be optional areas. So, don't you worry. We do have more to do on the main story, but we can break for now. It's fine. We can just go and not acknowledge the fact that we have to backtrack again. And I guess I should also say part of the runtime is my fault. Because we're doing what is essentially post-game content a little early. We can't do all of it, but we can do some of it, and you know what? I might as well do it now so we don't have to do it later.
Is there any benefit to doing it now?
There are some pretty good chips you can find.
Okay. Brushman!
You can see Brushman!
See, I was gonna say... I do like it when games have something that's, like, supposed to be endgame, but if you know what you're doing, you can raid it early for some goodies.
Yes, that is very much this area.
Anyways, Brushman, what's he doing?
He's making various types of panels. He made a magnet panel there because he's a jerk. And you might also notice he was taking less damage on those panels. Those are holy panels. So yeah, he's purely a support virus. But yes, excellent design. And name. Honestly, I'm surprised that Brushman isn't like an actual robot master. Oh, Fanji, that... Okay, that's actually really good green mystery data. Hey, that's just a thing I can use to make a really good program advance, thank you. It's like they know it's broken or something. Can't believe the game designers actually know what they're doing, and know the value of the things they placed in the game.
Look, somebody had to know what they were doing when they were making this game, and I don't think it was the scriptwriters.
Okay, so right here's the thing that we can't access just yet. The only ones who can pass through here are those who have the star ID, which means you have to beat the game, and also only 130 chips of the library, which, you know, is... It sounds like a lot, but it's actually not that many. It's not all of them, so that's cool. Even gospel people don't mess around in this area. Yeah, so this area is even more difficult. It was a virus in disguise. You could use Untrapped to, maybe disarm those, but, Alright, well, here's Buffy. And here I thought they weren't going through with a reboot.
I was about to say, you know, I'm not very familiar with the show, but I don't think this is what she looks like.
Mm-hmm. Does not look like Sarah Michelle Gellar at all. Okay, so... I am actually dancing around a lot of the stuff we can do, in part because it can be viruses in disguise. Oh, or it could just be 100 zennies. Now that's just rude. Kill Floor. Or Snapper 2. That really does not look like a guy who should be called Snapper, but okay. So yeah, they pretty much just wait around behind that rock. I think you can kind of draw them out by shooting the rock. Eventually they'll come out and try to do this. Probably should have sorted them, but I might have gotten kunai'd instead. And of course they are technically wood enemies, so... they do heal on grass. Biggest problem with these guys is they are fairly unpredictable. Again, you can kind of bait them out, but even then, I can't really get the best timing down. So this is also an area where you can fight a bunch of different, Net Navi ghosts. Clackety. Clackety clack. Oh no.
Then you are a fool! And he attacks you. God damn
it. No, this is just the Mr. Prog that gets bullied. Why did you make it so that the Undernet program could be bullied? That's so mean. Shine. Yeah, so that's why Proto Man's really good.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if you don't want to play the game a whole lot, you just top deck Proto Man.
Absolutely, yeah. He's a little difficult to top deck, but not terrible. Oh, got an unlocker. Cool, good. Alright, oh, hello. Cloudy 3. I don't think I get one of their chips from this, which is too bad because, by now it should be obvious that I definitely have taken a liking to the rain chips in general. Those are pretty fun to use, can do potentially a lot of damage.
Also, Cloudy 3's design just makes me feel like we dodged a bullet.
Alright, hey Neverman, in the dark web. I guess I'll see your wares, yeah. So this is, what Neverman can sell. If you're running an elect folder, this is pretty good. Custom Sword is basically a game of chicken, where, it gets stronger the more your gauge is filled, but I believe it actually caps out before the gauge is filled, so... If you actually let it hit its max, then... you do get punished for that. Anyway, you can fight Shadow Man's ghost if you go to the left side of that platform. But I don't want to do that just yet. I'll do all the V2s at one time, so... Well, I've done some of the V2s already, but... I will do the V2 wrap-ups at some point. Alright, so here we have... the S license block, so good thing we got that. And a regular F2, that's actually pretty good. Again, Proto Man's kinda pricey, so you might want to throw that on. You might want to grab that so you can throw that on. Alright, so let's see, what do we have in this area? Okay. Okay. Welcome to the fight that I kinda hate looking at. Mainly because of the Dominard. I'm glad I had a bunch of chips that were good against him, cause... Again, yeah, that guy can use Geddon. I did confirm it, it's Geddon 1 because that's the one that just cracks panels. Geddon 2 breaks panels. Geddon 3 is actually just poison. it just makes everything poison. Alright, so let's see, what else do we have here? Well, we've got this block right here that surely we can unlock, right? No, because there's actually an SS license. I lied, there is higher than S.
How dare you. I can't believe we're gonna have to sit through another 5 rounds of 10 battles each, or whatever the fuck.
And then more for the triple S license. That's the information we're ending on. See you next time for the end of the scenario. I mean, I don't know why you're mad, I'm the one who has to play it.